Hi, everyone. Welcome to Virginia Tech in this virtual space. My name is Kayla St. Clair, and I serve as Senior Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Virginia Tech. First, I want to say congratulations. The folks that are watching this should either be students who are offered admission, who have accepted that offer, or friends and family members of students who have been offered or accepted. So congratulations. We're really excited to talk to you tonight and get your questions answered. So I will be your moderator, and I will make sure that I give your questions to the appropriate panelists. First, we'll start off with a welcome, and we're going to start with Juan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Espinosa. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Virginia Tech. We're very excited to be able to talk to you today and welcome people from over 30 different states and 15 different countries. We have people coming in from as far away as the United Arab Emirates, Belarus, and Japan. So welcome, welcome, welcome. The goal of this program is hopefully to help reduce some of the anxiety you have about this process and also answer all the questions you have. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure this transition is as smooth as possible.
Now we'll move on to Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth Armstrong, and I serve as the Director of University and Scholarships and Financial Aid at Virginia Tech.
And we also have Lizette joining us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lizette Rebolledo, and I serve as the Director for New Student and Family Programs, and we bring orientation and other programs to you and your family members.
We also have Sean here with us tonight.
Good evening, Hokies. My name is Sean Grube. I serve as the Director of Housing and Residence Life here at Tech.
And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Byron.
Good evening, new Hokies. Welcome to Virginia Tech. I am Byron Hughes, and I serve as Dean of Students.
Thank you all again for being here with us tonight. We'll go ahead and start with our first question, which is directed to Juan. Students are really interested in what's being discussed for the fall semester. When will we know if classes are going to be online? And should we just proceed like normal right now?
Yes, these are very difficult times right now, and unfortunately, we don't have a final decision yet for this upcoming fall semester. We're anticipating we're going to make a decision either between the beginning to middle of June on what we will be doing for this upcoming fall. We hope that we'll be able to have on-campus instruction because that is the traditional Virginia Tech experience, but we're going to wait and seek guidance from health officials and make sure that your safety is at the highest priority before making any decisions moving forward. So at this point, unfortunately, I don't have a final decision yet, but we will keep you updated these next few weeks on any plans that we're considering as we look forward to the fall.
Thank you for that. Now, this next question is for Beth. Where can I find my award package?
So there are two different places you can see your award notice. If you applied for financial aid prior to receiving your admissions decision at Virginia Tech, we actually sent out in the booklet that you received with your admission letter, there was a portion, if you applied for financial aid, there was a portion that talked about your financial aid notification and your award notice. If you did not receive that or you had not applied for financial aid at that time, you can go out to either Hokie Spa if you've accepted your admission or your guest access account and you log in and you should be able to go to the financial aid information section and there's award package by aid year and you click on that and that should list your awards. And then if you are in Hokie Spa and you're ready to accept your awards on that tab or not accept but you want to view them, you go to that fourth tab on Hokie Spa and you can see your financial aid awards there.
Thank you so much. Now, for Lizette, can you explain how summer orientation is going to work now that it's been moved online?
Sure. So for any new Hokies who have accepted their admission and have set up their vt.edu email address, that is where we send all of our communication. And so once you've done that, you'll receive an email from our registration system that is asking you to sign up for our program. The program this year is going to be an asynchronous model, meaning that you're going to be able to do several of the things prior to your actual virtual orientation date. So we will start with 3 pre-orientation modules that will take place towards the end of May and then early in June and late June, and then you self-select the virtual orientation date. That date is a time for you to then connect with our orientation team members in a live format, as well as in small groups with other new students who will be joining you in the class of 2024. Following that, we will continue to have post-orientation modules for you to stay engaged with us, but also to continue to provide the resources that you need throughout the May through August timeframe before classes begin in the fall semester.
Great. Thank you so much, Lizette. Now, this next question is for Sean, our Director of Housing and Residence Life. And I think it's a pretty important question as students are thinking about what their living situation might be like and having a roommate, and that might make some students anxious. So how can students find a roommate? And do most students choose a roommate ahead of time?
Well, thank you for your question. So there's really a mix of roommates who know each other either from high school or they find each other online, and groups that really just kind of go random. So about 50% of our students know their roommate group before they do the room selection process. So you can certainly find somebody that you know already, but it's also a great opportunity to meet new folks. So our StarRes portal has a sign-in where you can go in, you can indicate some of your preferences, your study habits, how late you like to stay up at night, noise level, all those types of things. And then you can search for people that have matches on there. So we think that's a great option for our future Hokies to meet each other, and it's proven very successful in the past.
Great, thank you so much. Now, for Byron, could you talk a little bit about the resources that are available? We had a couple students ask what resources are available for my transition to Virginia Tech as a freshman and also as a transfer student.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Kayla. So I'll start with, as either a freshman or a transfer student, we have an amazing Welcome Week program, and I'll steal a little of Lizette's thunder here. Her team, in partnership with colleagues throughout the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Affairs, and really across campus, are really thinking about how do we think about your transition experience from the day that you step foot on campus or in Blacksburg if you're coming in as a transfer student. So we really do encourage students to get involved, to go to these programs, to attend them. There's an abundance of them. There'll be even more this coming fall as we look towards the fall because of certainly the experience during the summer. There are a ton of student leaders, Welcome Week student leaders, as well as staff that are part of Sean's team in Housing and Residence Life, our RAs, who are working and thinking specifically about our new students coming in, particularly those that are freshmen and some of the transfer students that will be able to live on campus. After you get here and you start to make your way through Virginia Tech, then you're thinking about a host over 25 or so offices within the Division of Student Affairs that are thinking about student programming. We're thinking about our colleagues in academic advising who are also thinking about how do you get adjusted to the academic experience here at Virginia Tech. Getting to know your academic advisor is going to be absolutely key to that, and understanding how your faculty can be of assistance as well to you. We think about the Dean of Students office, which is the team that I get to work with and work closely with. We are thinking about you, particularly if you are a transfer student and you are most likely going to be living off campus. And what does it mean to become not only a student at Virginia Tech, but also a resident of the town of Blacksburg, and to understand that those identities really do kind of cross together. And so there are opportunities to get to know this place in a deep way. I think the great thing about your transition is that the Hokie community is not only a big community, but it's a community that is very connected. So people want to know how you're doing. So everyone from the facility staff that might be working in the residence hall who's keeping the place looking nice, to the staff member that's working in dining services that's there to greet you when you are ready to eat, to our team that's over in McComas Hall that's thinking about you in rec sports and potentially thinking about the counseling needs that you have. Everyone's thinking about you and your transition as a new student and thinking about how can they connect to you, how can they help you. But what we really want you to be able to know is that it's a matter of just simply asking, and we are going to be here to really truly answer the call. We have a coordinated care and approach to how we work, that we are all very much interconnected. And so if you are struggling in one place, in all likelihood, someone's going to see that and know that and make a proper referral for you and want to get to know you and to know your experience really as individualized as it can possibly be. So the key thing for really transitioning what's available is just to get out and get involved and to get connected. The excitement that you're feeling coming in right now, let that really kind of push you in as you're coming into Virginia Tech and starting, and let it kind of carry you forward. And we will be here to receive you throughout all of our offices across campus.
Thank you so much, Byron. I think that was a really great way to recognize how many identities our students bring to campus and how we need to encourage our students to be their full selves when they come to Virginia Tech and not just who they may have been when we offered them admission. So thank you for that. Now, for Juan, I had a student who asked if you could talk about the deferral process for this year and what they need to do in order to defer.
Yeah, this is a great question. We actually have relooked at our deferral process and we have revamped it. So I want to explain what that term means. Deferral means essentially that you as an offer student, if you would like to defer your offer admission to a future term, whether it's a semester or up to 2 years from this point, we're going to allow you to do that. And we relooked at the process and revamped it to also remove the restriction to where you weren't able to take classes at another institution. We've lifted that. We recognize this is a really difficult time. And again, we're trying to find ways to accommodate you as much as possible. So this will allow you to now suggest or to identify what term you would like to start in. And if you like to start from a year from now and do some courses at your local community college, so you're still moving forward academically, we will work with you to make sure you're taking the right courses, and those courses will be able to transfer in for credit. Now, there is a little bit of a risk involved with this, though. Your performance in those courses can have an impact in your offer. Same with your major selection as well. So it's really key that if you do decide to defer your offer or admission to a future term, that you reach out to our office and you clearly outline a set of courses if you do want to take courses during that time, to make sure that you're not skewing from your current path and academic progress. I cannot encourage you enough to reach out to our office if you have any questions about this process. The form will go live within the next couple of days. It'll be located on our undergraduate admissions website, and you will fill out that form and request a deferral and state the reason for that deferral, as well as list what term you would like to start.
Great, thank you so much. Now, this next question, I think it's one that many students might be thinking about right now, especially as we are navigating some uncertain times and financial situations are changing on a daily basis for many of our students and families. So Beth, I had a question from a student who said, my parents have been laid off due to coronavirus and my financial situation has completely changed. Can I get a different financial aid package?
Kayla, thanks for that question, and it is a very timely question. The answer is it depends. So we need to really have that family reach out to our office, and we'll look at it a case-by-case basis. There is an appeal process. We are not evaluating any appeals for loss of income due to COVID-19 specifically until June 1st. However, we are looking at appeals at that time. But we are evaluating each family situation on its own merit. Sometimes it will result in more financial aid. Sometimes the students already received the maximum financial aid, so that package will not change. And sometimes it does not make a difference. But in the cases it does, it could result in more financial aid. I think families sometimes are told that it's a dollar-to-dollar exchange. If your income goes down by $1, your financial aid goes up $1. Unfortunately, that is not the case. But the best thing to do is reach out to our office, my office, and we will assist you with that process and give you the best information we can. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much. Now, for summer orientation, some students have been asking, since summer orientation is online, are there any plans to do extra programming or an in-person orientation in the fall?
Thank you, Kayla. So as Byron said, he stole some of the thunder, but Welcome Week, as he explained very well, is a wonderful opportunity for all of our new students to be able to connect. And so we have grown our Welcome Week here at Virginia Tech over the past few years significantly, and we are looking to continue to do that for this new incoming class. knowing that this summer looks a little bit different. And so we have that in mind, and we are thinking about new and creative ways to engage each of you in building relationships with each other, but also, as Byron mentioned, relationships with our faculty and staff and critical offices and resources that you will need throughout your time here at Virginia Tech. We want to make sure that you are integrating to our campus and the community during this time frame. And so you can expect to hear more from us as to what we are going to be offering during that time frame, and know that we are thinking about how we can make that a meaningful experience for anyone. That's not to say that we are not addressing critical resources during our virtual orientation. So some of you, to your question with Byron, was about what resources will there be available. Your online orientation experience will give you the opportunity to learn about the various campus resources here at Virginia Tech and how you can continue to develop relationships with them. Or maybe you find that you have a new interest in something based on what you learned during virtual orientation. So we are thinking about both, and ensuring that you're having timely information provided to you this summer and then also when we return to campus.
Great, thank you for that. Now, for Sean, could you explain the housing process? I know I had several students who asked if it's a guaranteed process, how do they sign up, when do they find out their housing assignment, and any deadlines associated with that?
Sure. Well, thank you, Kayla. So June 1st is our housing contract deadline, and you can fill out your housing contract by just going to our website. So that's housing.vt.edu. And you'll just fill out your contract. It takes just a few minutes, select your meal plan and all of those pieces. As far as guaranteed housing, that depends again a little bit on your student classification. It is Virginia Tech's current policy that all first-year students live on campus. Obviously, as Juan indicated earlier, there's a lot happening this year, and you know, the health and safety of our Hokies is the most important thing to us. And so it's possible that things could change as we evaluate the community health impacts. But we intend for all the Hokies that live with us to have just an amazing experience. We've got a great group of staff who is really prepared and ready for your arrival. And so we can't wait to have you on campus.
Thank you so much, Sean. Make sure that if you've accepted your offer that you are doing things on time and getting them in by the deadline. That is very, very important. Now, this next question is for Byron. How does Virginia Tech keep students from not feeling lost at a large institution?
Wow, you know, that's a tough question because I'll be honest, I don't know that we can keep every student from not feeling lost at a big school. You can't even really do it at a small school, quite honestly. We can certainly try. And I think part of that is, I think, embracing a philosophy of know and be known. It's something that we talk about quite a bit, and particularly as it relates to our staff and those, our faculty and those folks that are working directly with students. But to have a sense of connection to someone, and that someone could be in the Division of Student Affairs. Again, I mentioned earlier, it could be an academic advisor, a faculty member. It could be any random person, quite honestly, on campus. But that's one way of making sure that people feel like they are connected to someone who cares about them and really has eyes on their experience. We think a lot about certainly being involved on campus. And, you know, a lot of times I'll talk with students that say, you know, I'd rather not really be involved my first semester because I really just want to spend my time thinking about my coursework and transitioning in academically. And I tell them that's great and that's wonderful and that's important. I also know too that students who are involved on campus generally tend to do better in classes and tend to have a higher GPA. And part of that is because you're making a connection to this place that makes it feel a little bit more like home. So in those first couple of weeks during Welcome Week, you know, we're going to have plenty of opportunities. Got the Gobbler Fest, which is a massive student involvement fair that takes place out in our drill field. It feels like a carnival because it truly is a festival, but it's a way of being able to go out, to walk around at different tables, to talk to people, to understand about ways to get involved. Again, how do you make this place feel a little bit smaller? And that is why the involvement piece matters. So, you know, you can take this experience of 30,000 plus students, and if you are connected to a group of 10 students because you've found your way to getting involved, this place doesn't feel so big anymore. But we'll be honest, it's going to feel big for a little while. It felt big to me for the first couple of years I was here, just trying to figure out who was who and what building was which based on our Hokie Stone. So again, this is a massive place, but we really try our best to talk to students about get out, get connected. Sean's team in Housing and Residence Life, particularly for our students that are living on campus, they do a phenomenal job staying in touch with students, doing check-ins quite often. Again, we don't have a desire for people to be lost. And if someone feels lost, we want them to know that they can start with just about anyone to be able to get reconnected. Families can feel the same way. There's nothing wrong with calling the Dean of Students office, for example, and saying, hey, my student's really not feeling connected there. How do we help them? We'll give them a call. We'll shoot them an email or a text message and say, hey, come on in. Let's talk about it and let's see what we can do to kind of help you out. So again, we put a lot of emphasis on that because we know that if we don't do it well in that first 6 to 8 weeks, there's a good chance you won't stick with us, for your entire experience.
Thank you for that response. I think that connection is so important to our well-being as professionals, but especially as students navigating campus. So I hope that all of our students listening find those clubs and organizations when they join us as a Virginia Tech Hokie. Now, Juan, this next question, I'm hoping that you can talk a little bit about pass-fail grades, but I had a student who asked, could my offer be rescinded because of the grades I am earning in online classes? I'm not doing as well as I would if I were taking those classes in person.
It's a great question. Before I jump on that question, I do want to circle back to the deferral process because I left a couple of key points out. It's important that for you to defer your offer of admission, you do have to accept the offer of admission first by submitting a deposit, or if you're eligible for a matriculation fee waiver, that you're working with our office to accept that. The second key point that I left out is that your financial aid package is not guaranteed in any way. So you have to work with our office as well as Beth's office for when you re-enter the specific term that you're going to be aiming for. Now, for the question about grades, please understand that we get it. This is a tough situation. And again, we're trying to make it less anxious for you. We want to find ways to make sure you're going to be successful. So the short answer is we're not in the business of taking away offers of admission. That is not a goal of our office. But what we are focused on is making sure that every student that we select, they're going to be academically successful once they arrive here at Virginia Tech. So when we're looking at your final grades this year, and remember, you have to submit your final transcripts by August 1st. When we're looking at your final transcript and comparing it to your self-reported academic record, we're making sure that you're continuing the trend that you had. Now, we get that with moving to online learning, it's not for everyone. Now, you might see a little bit of a decrease in a grade. So I'm not saying if you get a couple C's, we're going to resend your offer. But if you're typically a strong A, B student and we're seeing D's and F's, then we're going to be concerned and we're going to reach out for clarification. But again, we're recognizing the situation that we're in and we want to find ways to work with you. But we also want to make sure that if you do come here in the fall, that you're going to be set up for success.
Great, thank you so much. Now, Beth, I know that when students are filling out the FAFSA, there's a lot of stuff on there, and there's a lot that comes out in their award notice that they may or may not understand. And so could you explain what work study is and what opportunities there are on campus for work study students?
Kayla, thank you. Absolutely. I love federal work study. Federal work study is a financial aid program that allows a student to earn money while they're in school, working for either an on-campus employer or a not-for-profit off-campus employer, and earn money, basically spending money. You're paid just like any other staff at Virginia Tech's campus. Different jobs have different hourly rates. The reason why this is considered a financial aid program is that the federal government is actually paying 75% of the student's wage for work study. The other reason why it's considered a financial aid program is that income earned from federal work study jobs is actually excluded as income on the next year's FAFSA. So I always explain to families that if you get a job at a restaurant and earn $1,000 and you earn $1,000 in a federal work study position, the next year when you complete the FAFSA, the student who's working at the restaurant off campus earns $1,000. They put that income on their FAFSA. That's counted in the calculation. the student who's in the federal work study position, they put that $1,000, but then there's a spot later on the FAFSA that says, hey, was any of your income earned from a federal work study job? If yes, enter that amount here. And so then it's subsequently subtracted back off. So that's why federal work study is considered a financial aid program. You're not going to earn enough money to pay your rent. You're not going to earn enough money to pay a car payment. This is really your spending money while you're on campus to be able to go out, buy some clothes, go out to eat, go to a movie, or order out, as the case is right now. But that's the type of money that you earn in federal work study. There are jobs all over this campus. I like to tout our dining services positions because we have fabulous food at Virginia Tech, and dining services need student staff to help with that. That's a great way to earn money. They hire students who are using the federal work study program and just wage positions. There are work study positions in fleet services to help out. So some of our mechanically inclined students will get a job at fleet services and work with the cars. We have research labs. We have faculty that are looking for students to help out with research, or academic units and administrative units who need help. There are some great opportunities. Some students love to complement their education, and they want to have a job in their academic department. Some students want a break from that, and they don't want to think about anything. They just want to be able to work and earn some money. So once you accept your offer at at Virginia Tech this summer through Career Services, the system's called Handshake, and our work study employers will post their positions out there. You submit a resume, or they might have an application process, and then they will contact you for an interview. They do consider this a professional interview, so be careful about the resume you upload or your email addresses that you use, and then students can find positions that way. Some universities will match students to federal work study positions. We do not do that. The student can go out and find a job. I hire about 15 to 20 students in my office each year to assist us with work. So there are a lot of opportunities off campus. The YMCA thrift store that helps the community, the Lyric Theater, they all have students who will assist them, and it's just another great opportunity to serve the community, as well as earn some money.
Thank you for that. We also, in the undergraduate admissions office, we hire some students each year with work study funding. That is actually where my first job was on campus, was in the admissions office, opening mail. It was very glamorous, lots of paper cuts, but it did not deter me from a career in admissions. So you might find a career out of your work study position. Now, I know that a lot of students are feeling a little anxious about how class sign up is going to work now that orientation is online. So I think students would really love if you could talk about how that's going to work this summer.
Absolutely. So our office partners with our academic colleges to create experiences for orientation. And so while you won't get to come on campus this summer to meet with your advisor, we are working with them to create that experience. And so you will have a set of modules that your college will ask you to complete prior to selecting a date for orientation. So if you have selected a date, you've probably experienced those already. But if you haven't, once you register and go into the system, you'll complete a set of first modules for your specific college. Following that, there'll be a set of varied modules that will prepare you for the next step, which will be your meeting with your specific advisor in your college. And so you will have a chance to meet with your advisor and discuss your course schedule as well as your plans for your time here in your specific area of study, or maybe if you're exploring the possibility of adding a minor or maybe double majoring, they will have time for you to meet with them, and you'll get to sign up to do that when works best for you and your academic advisor over this summer.
Great, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that students are still going to have that opportunity to really have that personal connection with their advisor, and really figure out what those classes are going to look like for this fall semester. Now, as students are thinking about living on campus, I know that there's a lot of questions about, should I do a living learning program or should I not do one? So Sean, could you talk a little bit about the advantages of our living learning programs on campus?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the question, Kayla. So the question of whether or not you should do a living learning program is absolutely yes. So we have 16 wonderful communities on campus. So 3 of those are what we call residential colleges. The residential colleges are a really unique model. So they have a faculty member who teaches here at Virginia Tech, who actually lives in the facility and meets with students all the time. So we have 3 lovely faculty, Doctors Agmon, Bohannon, and Terrazaga, who host weekly teas, have reading events for students, and just a general opportunity to meet interesting people in and around campus. We also have 13 other programs around campus. So they have a full-time faculty or staff member that's dedicated towards creating a wonderful experience. So I can almost guarantee that we have something that matches what you might want. So at Virginia Tech, LLPs are just what students do. So our living learning programs range everywhere from an arts and creativity-based program to engineering that has engineering and maker spaces in the residence halls. So it's really just a fantastic opportunity to form community with people who have similar interests to you, who have similar experiences and similar career ambitions. And so I would just encourage everyone to check out our living learning programs on our housing website. And then if you have any questions, please let us know, because we're happy to help you understand the LLP process and what it takes to be a part of a great community here at Virginia Tech.
Thank you so much. I'm seeing a theme of how important community is at Virginia Tech and to your experience. So definitely look into those living learning programs like Sean said. Now, I have a question here for Byron. I had a student who asked, what are the benefits of going to a larger school versus a smaller school?
Oh, thanks, Kayla. Yeah, I went to a smaller school in college. My wife went to an even smaller private school, and I can appreciate that experience. But here's what I love about the big school experience, particularly what we have here at Virginia Tech, is that it is the opportunity to collide with people that are different than you. And so certainly, our country has a whole lot to work to do with when it comes to diversity, and we have work to do when it comes to the diversity and inclusion experience here at Virginia Tech. But with 30,000 plus people at the school here in Blacksburg, you have the opportunity to meet someone and to be around people that you've never been around with before. When I've met with students before who have talked to me about having a hard time making friends or staying connected to the people that they've met and not feeling like they're finding their fit with people, I tell them, if you just walk a different way to class tomorrow, you will see 70 different people that you have never seen before. If you go to a different dining hall, for example, than you normally go to, you'll see 100 people that you've never seen before. So there's always that opportunity at a bigger school to just simply meet people and be around people that are different than you. It also allows us, I think, to specialize our programming and services in a very significant way. So, we have a robust cultural and community centers program that allows us to be able to particularly think about subpopulations of underserved and marginalized students and underrepresented students that are on our campus. We can have a first-gen support program, for example, for first-generation students that is specifically thinking about that experience and not necessarily trying to think about that experience along with other types of experiences here. We can have an interfaith program, for example, that allows us to bring people together who believe differently from each other to be able to simply learn more about each other because of those differences. So I think that's what the big school experience does provide for you. It also allows you to be able to redefine yourself throughout your time at Virginia Tech. So if you have a pretty tough first year at Virginia Tech, things don't go your way, maybe you've gotten into a crowd of people that probably rubbed off on you in the wrong way, because of how large this campus is and how large the experience is, that next year you get to be around different people that are in different classes, and you get to change a major and again, find different circles of people. So that's what the opportunity provides, is just that opportunity to say, hey, I'm always going to be in a position where I can find someone that is different than me. I will always have the opportunity to meet and connect with someone new. The other awesome thing about a big school experience is, when I travel around the country and I fly often, I typically wear something with Virginia Tech on it. And what happens as a result of being part of a big school experience is there's always somebody that I see in an airport, on a plane, in a new city that's a Hokie, no matter what. And they notice, they go Hokies, and you say go Hokies back. And that's, again, another connecting point that goes beyond Virginia Tech and Blacksburg throughout the country and around the world. So that's part of the unique factor, and I have never met most of these people that I see, but we still have the opportunity to connect in a very significant way. And again, that connecting point can be the starting point for something more, depending upon if that relationship proceeds or not. So that's what I find has been the benefit of being at a big school. It's not something that I had in an undergraduate experience. And it's one of the reasons why I stay at Virginia Tech.
Thank you for that, Byron. I know that for many students and many of our Virginia Tech alumni, you will be noticed out in public simply because of our school colors. No other school has Chicago maroon and burnt orange as their school colors, for good reason. Not everybody thinks it goes together, but it's a rite of passage to wear it here, afar, get those yells in the airport, or a completely different city across the country or across the world. So you really are a part of Hokie Nation as a Virginia Tech student. Now, this next question is for Juan. I had a student ask if the deposit deadline is still May 1, and what if they need an extension?
Sure. So the deposit deadline is still May 1. Now, if you have any extenuating circumstances and your family's has been hit pretty hard by the current situation, please reach out to our office. We want to find ways to help. And if the way to help is to give you a later deadline date, then we're willing to do that. But we're going to do it on a case-by-case basis. So please, again, reach out to our office, communicate with us, let us know what you need. We'll try our best to meet that need.
Thank you for that. And transfer students, you still have until June 1 to accept your offer, but freshmen, your deadline is May 1 unless you have an extenuating circumstance that you need to contact us about. Now, Beth, are there opportunities for scholarships after freshman year? This is a question I received, and if a student should notify Virginia Tech about outside scholarships.
Yes, absolutely. There are scholarship opportunities after your freshman year. Virginia Tech has a decentralized scholarship process, which means our academic colleges have scholarships that they award every year to students. And we have donors who have specifically given scholarship dollars to juniors or seniors. Those are who the intended recipients are. So each year, Virginia Tech, my office opens up Scholarship Central, and the scholarship application is posted, and continuing students can go out and apply for different scholarships because some are major specific. Use the College of Engineering as an example. Some of them are very department specific, so they're for mechanical engineers or aerospace engineers. So absolutely, there are opportunities. There are also opportunities for study abroad scholarships. So students can go apply for the scholarship on a semester basis for study abroad travel in the future, if that is taking place and when that takes place again. So there are definitely opportunities. To answer the second question is, if you have an outside scholarship, do you need to report it? I would say yes, because out of many institutions, Virginia Tech is one of the few where our university bursar, and that's the office who will send you your bill, actually will post as a pending credit any outside scholarship that you have received. So you have to report those to the Office of the Bursar. They have a form online. If you go to the Bursar's website and just type in their search scholarship reporting form for the 2021 academic year, it's already out there. You just type in your name, who the scholarship's from, and the amount, and they will actually post that as a pending credit. So that's critical because a lot of institutions will not do that until they actually receive the scholarship check, but our Office of the Bursar is really flexible with that. So that's a great option. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that. It's good to know that you will reapply each year and you'll be able to be eligible for future scholarships as a Hokie. Now, I know when we think of orientation, we typically think of that experience where there's a super excited current student who's typically like yelling and singing songs and getting you to do icebreakers. Is there going to be an opportunity for our prospective students and students that are intending to come in the fall? Will they be able to interact with current students in this virtual orientation experience?
Absolutely. And Kayla, I think you know this student very well because you were one of them. And I know that you were a transfer orientation leader during your undergraduate time here at Virginia Tech. And I took out my polo today in honor of the fact that we will have orientation leaders this summer working with all of our new students. And they will have a polo with them as well. And so we are working to get them all of their orientation polos in our very specific custom-made colors, so orange and maroon. And they will be joining you virtually on your orientation date and even before that. So we are currently working and ensuring that they are prepared. They've been in a semester-long class with us since the start of this spring, and they are eager to meet each of our new Hokies. We are going to start the engagement process with you and your orientation leader at the end of May versus the traditional timeframe, which usually would have been on your orientation date. So you will be hearing through your VT email address from your specific assigned orientation leader at the end of May to start having conversations about what it means to be a new Hokie, what are those traditions that they want to make sure you're aware of, and keeping those connections throughout your time over the summer as you're transitioning, as well as just being someone that you can lean on to answer any of those questions that you might feel like you don't know where to start. You can go ahead and talk to them and they'll connect you to other resources as well on campus. So we will have orientation leaders this summer and they are super excited to work with each of you.
I'm so glad to hear that. It was one of a really great experience for me as an undergraduate student. And please know that there is no question too small or too big to ask those students. So please take advantage of that. That's something that I think is really important to ease any anxiety you might be feeling before starting in the fall. Now, this next question is for Sean. We have a lot of students that are eager to know what residence life is like at Virginia Tech and what their residence hall might look like. So how can students see more pictures or video tours of the residence halls that we have?
So we had a really exciting kind of photo production set for this semester to show all of our great spaces with students in them. And obviously things have changed a little bit for our campus, but actually just this afternoon, we're working through some great students that we have living on campus who are going to be conducting some tours of their rooms and their facilities to kind of show everything that we've got to offer here in our 47 communities on campus. So we have multiple styles of layouts. So a traditional room with a bathroom down the hall. We have a few private bathroom rooms. We have suites. So we have a number of different types of facilities. You can find a lot of information on our website, and we would love to be able to show you everything we have to offer. All of those, so again, housing.bt.edu. So you can find information about floor plans, how many students, all those types of things. And I would also say, if you have any questions, please call us. So 540-231-6205 or email us at housing@bt.edu. We will answer any question that you have about any of the buildings. And we're just really excited to show you everything we've got to offer.
Great. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you're reaching out and asking those questions. Obviously, the space that you live in is really important, so don't leave any questions unanswered if you have them. Now, this next question is for Byron. I think that this is kind of on the top of many students' minds right now, just with our current climate and current situation that we have with COVID-19. So I had a student ask, what if I have a family emergency when I'm at Tech? Can I miss class? Can you address what that looks like for our students?
Sure, Kayla. So yes, we know that life happens and continues to happen for our students. while they're in classes and while they're at Virginia Tech. So we do have an absence verification program that's administered through my office. And if a student has to work with a family emergency, something that's happening back home, even if they're not going to that emergency, if it's just simply taking them out of their ability to be able to continue progressing in class, they can work directly with my office. We can provide notes to faculty, and that covers other types of commitments as well that might be happening in their life that might be essentially just beyond their control. So there is a way for us to be able to communicate. It doesn't necessarily get you out of anything, so it doesn't get you out of the work that you have to do, and we still would hope that a student would work directly with their instructor to be able to see what they've missed and to see how they can make that up. But we provide just some assistance there in advocacy for our students to be able to help communicate to our instructors that life did happen for that student. We can verify it. And if there is an extreme family emergency, we'll also continue to work with that student in other ways to be able to provide support. Sometimes it might mean financial support, and we can certainly offer that as well, given the issue and whatever that need might be.
Thank you so much. I love hearing about the advocacy and support that comes out of the Dean of Students office. And I just want to make sure that students know that that is a place that you should reach out to if you need support at any time. Now, as we think for our students that are going to be coming in, those who are going to be taking AP exams had to take some, or are taking some modified AP exams. So Juan, can you tell us if we will be accepting scores from modified AP exams?
Yes, we will. So the modified AP exam is going to be a 45-minute exam that you can take at home. We will be accepting those scores. And to piggyback this answer, any changes made by the school system that might be impacting how grading is going to be awarded for the rest of the year, please don't stress. We're going to work with you. We realize that different school systems are trying different things. We're going to accommodate while maintaining the academic standards here at Virginia Tech. But don't stress about that. We recognize that's well outside of your control. And we're going to do everything as an institution to, again, this is the theme, accommodate you as best as we can during this process. We want to make anything any harder. We're trying to find ways, again, to minimize barriers and make this process as smooth as possible.
Thank you for that. Now, this next question is for Beth, and it's kind of a longer question, but I had a student who asked, what if I need additional loans beyond what was awarded through FAFSA? How can I do that? When do I do that? And how do I accept my financial aid package?
I'm going to start with the last one, Kayla. How do you accept your financial aid package? The only thing that we require to be accepted at this point are federal loans. So once you've accepted your admission to Virginia Tech, you can go out to Hokie Spa. Again, once you log in, you go to your financial aid by year. It'd be the 2021 school year. And then there are going to be 4 tabs. And on that 4 tabs, it says accept my financial aid. You can go out there and accept your loans. Right now, with loans, the federal government won't start processing. We won't start originating loans, which means we'll send them to the federal government. They'll say, okay, great, this is approved, send them back. As long as you're a student and we certify it, you're eligible in that case. Then you'll be able to do your master promissory note and entrance counseling. It'll all get tied together. So that is how you accept loans. And there's also information on that on our webpage if I flew through that pretty quickly. When it comes to financing the rest of college, there are a couple different options available. One, for parents, there is the federal PLUS loan, which PLUS stands for Parent Loan for Undergraduate Students. And it is a loan that is through the government. Parents, you must apply. It does go through a credit check. And if the parent is approved, you can borrow money for educational expenses to pay for school, obviously, or housing, anything that's educationally related. The interest rate on the federal PLUS loan is a fixed rate, and parents, you may choose to defer that loan while your student's in school, at least half time, or you can choose to pay on that loan, and that will start 60 days after the loan's fully dispersed. So if you apply for a parent loan for the year, which is what we recommend, then that loan would go into repayment in March. If you are a student and you plan on taking out a loan in your name, There's what's called private student loans, and those are through private lenders. Usually students will have to have a creditworthy cosigner. They are credit-based. There are all different types of private loan products. Virginia Tech doesn't have a preferred lender list. Some schools will have a list. What we do have is a list of all the lenders who Virginia Tech students have borrowed from in the past. And if you go to our website and you search Fast Choice, it will take you to our private loan page. And Fast Choice is just a platform that allows you to research lenders and to take a look at the private loan process. We're glad to talk to you about it, what we can. I would encourage families to start looking at that now. Parent loans, I think as long as you apply before June or right around June, that may ensures plenty of processing time that it will show up on your bill in July. And for students as well with private loans, I would not apply for a private loan until a little later, meaning June. Please, what we see is that families will sometimes apply for single semester loans. I would encourage you to apply for the entire academic year because you will forget to apply in the next semester, which can cause some issues. Also, circumstances could change. But I would also say do not wait until the bill comes out. You can look on the Bursar's website when we have our tuition and fee rate set for next year and estimate how much you need to borrow, because we will be extremely busy certifying loans all summer. That's what we do. And we want to make sure that you are set to go and that you don't have to worry about that process once you get on campus. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Beth. Now, Lizette, I had a student ask, when do invitations go out for orientation?
As soon as you accept your offer of admission to Virginia Tech and you set up your vt.edu email and your dual factor 2.0 check, all of that, you will receive an email from our automated system that instructs you on how to log in with the same credentials that you use here on campus with email and dual factor. And it will take you through the process of selecting your virtual orientation date, as well as explain our pre-orientation modules and post-orientation modules and the information that you will be provided throughout orientation. It also allows you at that time to register your family members who wish to attend our virtual orientation process, and that will also receive all of our family orientation experience information once we collect that. So we are asking that all of our family members who would like to continue to have more information provided to them specific to orientation and all of the resources that we connect you to, also register when your student registers. And there is the availability to do that via guests, and you can list their information there, and then we will continue to have contact with them as well as you.
Thank you, Lizette. Now, Sean, what is the most popular residence hall for first-year students, and are there any housing opportunities for transfers?
Oh man, the most popular residence hall. So let's see. I think that probably depends a lot on what you're looking at. Again, I mentioned we have several different styles of buildings on campus. So in-room bathroom, suite style, traditional, private, and so I think you really need to spend some time on our page and getting used to the facilities. We have a great checklist on there that will allow you to see different facilities by rate type. So we have over 29 different residence halls in addition to some of our housing out in Oak Lane for fraternities and sorority life. So it's hard to say, this is students' favorite hall or not. It really depends on what you're looking for. But no matter which community you choose, we have student staff who are there to help create an amazing opportunity for you. We have in-room or in-building professional staff who are there to help transition and help have you make sure you have a great experience. They're all surrounding our dining halls on campus. So there's really no bad choice. It really just depends what you're looking for. what size, how close to campus. And so I just encourage you to check out all the options that we have on the website, and just know whatever you choose, it's going to be a great option for you here at Tech.
Thank you so much for that. Now, for Byron, when should a student reach out to the Dean of Students office? Is it just for big things? Is it for little things as well? When do you encourage a student to seek your office's services?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kayla. And the answer is whenever and whenever they need to, quite frankly. Our opinion in the Dean of Students offices is start with us. So start with us whenever you need anything. We are thinking about your experience personally, socially, academically. Quite often your needs here at Virginia Tech and in life are never really singular to one particular area. And so we're going to be great at being able to deal with particularly those needs that might cut across different areas, or when you're just really confused. And we're not intending to create a challenge for you to be able to get what you need or to be able to thrive here at Virginia Tech. So starting with us is a great place, and we can refer. We can also try our best to be able to drill down. We can also be in relationship with you throughout your entire time here at Virginia Tech. So the key thing is to reach out whenever you need something, and however you would like to reach us, and as often as you'd like. It's not just simply come one time or only talk to us when the big, crazy, awful things happen. That will happen, and we certainly will be part of those. But even when it's something that's pretty small, reach on out and let us know how we can help you out.
Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to be cognizant of time. We have about 3 minutes left, but I would love it if I could pose one final question to our panelists, and it doesn't need to be a long answer, maybe just a sentence or two. But we had a student ask, I'm having a hard time choosing a school. Why should I attend Virginia Tech? So if Juan can take that first, and then we'll bounce around to the other panelists.
Oh, wow. That is a long answer, though. Virginia Tech has so many great things going for it. We're a top 50 research institution. Last year alone, we had over $500 million of research taking place. We have an exciting partnership with Amazon that's going to lead to our innovation campus in Northern Virginia. We have the admission of Ut Prosum, which is Latin for that I may serve. Our students are constantly trying to find ways to give back, and they're doing so during this crisis. Virginia Tech has stepped up to create its own COVID-19 test that it will be working with local healthcare providers on. And we have alums and graduates that are first responders or graduates from our Virginia Tech Medical School. And then you look at the school spirit. Gosh, it is unmatched. I get that when people look back at their college years, they always do it with a smile. It's different when you talk to a graduate from Virginia Tech. They are excited to talk about their experience here. Byron earlier talked about how when he wears VT gear, he gets the go Hokies no matter where he's at. I've experienced that not only here in the country, but all over the world. And realize that as you're considering attending Virginia Tech, you're joining a family, something we call the Hokie Nation, with over 250,000 living alums all over the world. So no matter where you are at, you're always going to have a friendly face and someone rooting for your success nearby. So that's as short as I can make it, Kayla.
All right, well, we'll pop over to Beth and see what she has to offer.
I've worked at 4 large universities, and I will say Virginia Tech students are rock stars. They're amazing, and the community that they have is amazing, and that's why I would choose Virginia Tech.
What about you, Lizette?
I would say our commitment to making such a large place feel like home, and that you belong here and have connections and affinity to many different pieces of your identity, and that you can learn and grow here in unique ways.
Thank you for that. Sean, what would you say for why a student should attend Virginia Tech?
Well, I'm the director of Bald and Beautiful Affairs on campus, and I'm here. So that's why I think you should attend Virginia Tech. But besides that poor dad joke, I would just say that this is a fantastic campus. It has amazing energy. And this is a place that you can belong. I know Byron got some questions on how to make a big school feel small. And I think we do that at Tech in some just amazing ways. And so we would love to have you here and be able to show you that experience.
Byron, what do you think? Why should a student attend Virginia Tech?
Gosh, why not? I mean, it's the only place where you can go and wear orange and maroon and feel really comfortable about it and love it for the rest of your life, quite frankly. But, in all seriousness, when I first came here, someone told me, the worst thing that can happen to a Virginia Tech student is to not be at Virginia Tech. And I've noticed it even during this period of time where students have been taking classes online. I talked to a student yesterday. I said, how's it going? He said, I'm just having a hard time. I said, what's so hard about it? He said, because I miss Blacksburg. I miss Virginia Tech. I miss being on that campus. I miss that. That is defining kind of who I am. So, no matter what identity you're bringing into Virginia Tech, we don't expect you to set it aside in order to be able to embrace being a Hokie and being part of this community. Our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, people that live in this region who will never step foot on this campus to work or to go to school still have an affinity to this place. And I think it's because of the passion and the commitment. People love being part of this university and love being part of this community. And I think that is what has kept me here for the 12 years that I've been here, is just that feeling and that sense of it truly does feel like home. And again, like any home, we have work to do to be able to make it feel like home for everybody at all times. But even when I talk to students that might struggle here sometimes and may have challenges here, they'll say, the reason why I'm so critical about Virginia Tech is because I love Virginia Tech. I want it to be able to be its absolute best and for people to be able to have the most phenomenal experience they can have. And to me, that's a good reason to choose us.
I definitely feel that, and I echo everything that you all have said. I came here as a transfer student in spring of 2010, and I am still here. And so there's no place like Blacksburg and no place like Virginia Tech. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Juan to just give some closing remarks, and then I'll wrap things up in just a minute.
Thanks, Kayla. Great job, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I am a graduate of Virginia Tech, and I'm surprised that no one mentioned food as one of the favorite reasons to come to Virginia Tech. That's also another plus here. Look, I hope the message you got from this program was that every part of this university is ready to work with you and make sure you have that smooth transition. We want you to be successful. You are welcome. You are wanted here at Virginia Tech, and we're ready to do whatever we can to make this process easier for you. These are tough times, but Virginia Tech's been around for a very long time, and we've seen tough times. And every single occasion, we've always stepped up, and we've come out of that tough situation stronger and more united as a university. And this, I have no doubt that this will be no different. So please, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Our phone number in admissions is 540-231-6267. Our email is admissions@bt.edu. We're still answering the phone. They're being routed to our homes. You might get me on the other line, and we're still checking email. We are worried about you. We're thinking about you, and we're doing everything we can, again, to make sure that we get you started here in the fall with a smooth transition. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you again for all of our participants here this evening. Please stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you on campus.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. For those of you who asked questions that were not answered, especially if they were pretty specific questions, we're going to be working to divide those up among our staff as well as some of the colleges. So if you asked a specific question about the College of Engineering or the College of Natural Resources and Environment, we're going to make sure those folks get those questions, and we're going to try and get back to you as soon as we can with those answers. But thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in the fall, and go Hokies.